right. Do you want to introduce yourself and kind of what company you're with, and we'll kind of start from there?
Absolutely. My name's Taryn Mohler, and I'm the Director of Operations for Harvestly, which is a local nonprofit that drops food off essentially at your door.
Nice. Where did you begin with that? It said it was a Cal Poly project, but what was the initial seed of idea with that?
So it did start at Cal Poly. There were a couple Cal Poly students that noticed that it would be a great idea to do doorstep delivery of food. And they started that and ran with it, and it was going really well. It was started in 2020, and then COVID hit.
Right.
And it was even better then because there were people that couldn't leave their homes or didn't want to leave their homes, and they were still able to do this for our community. And then they all kind of graduated and wanted to go on to different things. Mm-hmm. And then that's where I stepped in with another person that's a philanthropic person that didn't want to see this go away for our community. And he asked me if I wanted to come on and run the program. And I said, absolutely.
Oh, nice. So that guy was locally here too.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So you took it over from, took the reins after the Cal Poly students kind of started it.
Yes.
Yeah. But did they put all that infrastructure, in place, or was that something that you had to do kind of as you took it over?
They did a lot of the infrastructure. I think they were really focused on growing really quickly. So they were adding a lot of vendors. They were trying to expand to different areas. And then it just wasn't panning out financially.
Oh, okay.
And so that's when they asked about donating it and converting it to nonprofit. So we've been a nonprofit since last summer.
Oh, so that's fairly recently then.
Yes.
Yeah.
I've been with them for about 2 years. So the Cal Poly students helped us transition it a little bit.
Yeah.
And then they stepped out, and we officially transferred it to a nonprofit.
Oh, nice. And I saw you were working with People's Self-Help Housing too, right?
Yes.
My dad was the CEO for a while there.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah. I'm like, do you know this? And he was like, no. He retired, so.
Okay.
Yeah.
They have a lot of programs going on.
Yeah, they're kind of really active in the community.
Absolutely.
So they got all of the vendors, or most of them, or how did that work? Getting, in the initial, getting the farms to be part of this program.
Absolutely. So I think one of the coolest things is we're adding another sales outlet for them, but not adding a lot more work. A lot of our farmers, and we have a lot of food producers too, they love what they do, but they don't necessarily want to deliver food or deal with customers per se. They want to be doing what they love, which is making food and harvesting food and growing food. And so we are able to remove some of those barriers for them.
Yeah, I mean, that in and of itself is quite a big job, just farming.
Yeah.
I mean, I was talking to Fallon, and I'm like, man, that's a whole thing. And then she's like, yeah, I'm going to do pigs.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my gosh.
Well, and they have to stay current
Yeah.
and keep changing and evolving. And yeah, it's pretty interesting. They're very busy.
Oh, yeah, they definitely are. So, so what's kind of been your role as you kind of stepped in, right, to the company, or took it over?
That's a great question. It was just mainly trying to keep it going and kind of learning all the ins and outs and what worked well for them and what didn't work well for them and tweaking those things. And like I had said, they were trying to grow more and expand more. And we kind of said, okay, this is great, but let's make this perfect first before we expand.
Yeah.
So I think we'd love to expand at one point, but right now we really want to be hyper-focused on San Luis County. And then we include Santa Maria, Guadalupe, and Orchid in that because we have vendors that are down there, and we have great customers that are down there. So we want them to be included as well. But just keep it more hyper-local for now.
Right. I think that's great. You can get one-stop shop, and you guys have like a whole bunch of stuff on your website.
Yeah.
Which is great. We were looking at that yesterday. I'm like, wow, we need to do a box for sure. So what has kind of been the challenges of, taking this over and trying to keep it local? Obviously not scaling too big, but was there any challenges dealing with the vendors and trying to get like logistically, you have to get the food somewhere, right? And put it all together in a box and then actually deliver that. That's a lot of logistics just in general. Right?
There are a lot of logistics. So we try to kind of remove as many barriers as we can for them. So since we are in the county and we know it's a pretty wide county, and I don't expect them all to drive to San Luis and drop their goods off. So we actually have a drop-off point for our vendors in Santa Maria, one in Atascadero and one in Paso Robles. And then we have a pickup driver that does a little bit of a San Luis Obispo route and drives to those hubs, if you will. And we have refrigerators and freezers at all of those locations. So then they're not adding, we have some farmers that are in Paso Robles that it would be almost an hour for them to drive to San Luis
Right.
versus driving 15 minutes to drop off there. And then our driver can come and pick it up. So,
And then they all package. So take me through that process. So they drop everything, at the freezers, right? And then someone on your staff like puts the box all together.
yes.
Yeah.
So our pickup drivers go and grab everything, aggregate it all, bring it back to our hub in San Luis Obispo. And then we have insulated bags. So all of the products is separated and loaded into bags. And then our drivers come and pick them up and then deliver them to the county.
And are these staff members or are these volunteers who's working like to deliver all this stuff?
So I think one of the coolest things that when we switch to a nonprofit, it allows us to work with so many other organizations. So right now we have, soon we have more Cal Poly students coming back on,
Right.
because we have grant funding through, we work with City Farm Slow. And so we're able to get, they're called College Core Fellows that are paid through that program, but they come and work with us.
Oh, nice.
So we have some, not customers, they're not really employees. They're just called fellows that come and work with us, which is great because then they get to meet so many people in the community. They get to meet our customers. And then we also, one thing that I'm really excited about is we just met with a Cal Poly professor, and I'm a Cal Poly alum as well. And this was obviously started at Cal Poly.
Right.
So to loop back to Cal Poly is great. And we're going to have a couple Cal Poly students come on for their senior project to work with Harvestly as well.
Oh, nice.
Work on marketing and finding our perfect customers and helping our vendors grow their businesses and stuff. It's really exciting.
Nice. Yeah. So were you in a different program in Cal Poly, or you were in like the ag program or business or?
Myself personally?
Yeah, your background.
Yeah, I graduated with a major in ag business and a minor in equine science.
Oh, equine, huh?
Yeah.
Nice. So do you still like kind of mess around with horses at all or anything?
Yeah, absolutely. My husband and I have a horse ranch in San Luis.
Oh, really? Cool.
We do. Yeah, it's great.
Excellent. And is there any like benefits from like being a nonprofit versus like a for-profit company?
I think so. I think it opens up our doors for applying for grants, getting funding. We really try to keep as much money as possible in the vendor's pocket. I understand that we're kind of the middleman because we're getting everything together,
right.
But we're not trying to jack up prices. We're trying to make sure that our whole mission is to support small food and farmers.
Yeah.
And in turn, supporting our community. So when people are purchasing from us, they're not just purchasing from local vendors. They are able to make us sustainable to help and support things like people self-help housing, or we have this really cool program working with a food bank right now.
Yeah,
all of those things. So it's really beneficial to be a nonprofit. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, it seems to be. So yeah, my wife did a project because she's going back to nursing school or NP program, but she was learning about like food waste and all that stuff. So how does that kind of factor in? I mean, I'm assuming it's beneficial for all this stuff, but how does that work? Is because what was it? Fallon was saying like she's just got avocados lying around, and she's like, I'm feeding them to my pigs, but also you guys are taking them. So like, has that really like contributed to less food waste and all the stuff that you guys are doing?
We try to reduce food waste. Absolutely. I think a way that it helps is when our farmers are preparing to go to farmers market, they harvest whatever they think that they need, right? And then they're left over with whatever they're left over.
Right.
With Harvestly, they know exactly what to harvest, exactly the quantities, when it needs to be harvested, when it needs to be delivered. So I think that really helps.
Nice. And then I know you have that program like Farm to School too, right? Like you guys are, I mean, also the food bank. So maybe let's start with the food bank. Like how did that come to be?
Okay, so this is a great loaded question. So our umbrella that we're underneath is called Slow Money Slow, and then we have programs that run.
Yeah.
So I run Harvestly, which is the essentially vendors to consumers,
right,
to your doorstep. Then there's Farms Together, which I'll talk about, which is the food bank, and then there's Farms to School, which is the food. So we have a lot going on.
Yeah.
But it's all great because I feel like we're
good.
trying to hit everyone in our community.
Yeah.
So Farms Together, which is the program that allows, it's a California funded program, federally funded, but Farms Together is the specific California program.
Okay.
And we are able to purchase thousands of pounds of food. I just added it up the other day. We just started. We're in about month 1.5. So we've done 6 deliveries and we've already almost donated 30,000 pounds of food to the food bank, which is really great.
That's a lot of food.
It's a lot of food. And so we're able to pay our farmers fair market value. So they
Yeah.
don't have to negotiate. They get to choose their prices.
Nice.
So they're actually paid what they should be paid for.
Yeah.
Which is really exciting. So somebody like Fallon who has extra avocados, I can say, hey, put those up. Let's sell all of those.
Yeah.
Or we have farmers that disc under, that they're throwing their food away. They're tilling it back underneath because they can't sell it. They don't have anyone to sell it. And that's heartbreaking. We
Yeah.
can do better than that.
Yeah, totally.
So being able to be
Absolutely.
a part of that is really cool.
Yeah. So, so I know you're probably not really associated with the food bank. So let's start, because you guys were just in the news for that,
Yes.
and you guys are doing great with that. So go
Yes.
over that for sure.
Yeah, so it's a way we are able to make it easy for the food bank, where we Harvestly and the Farms Together program is able to communicate with the farmers, make sure they have all of their products up online at the prices that they want to get paid, and then they get paid 100% of that. And the food bank goes on once a week and places an order, and then our farmers deliver it to them. So it is the freshest food the food bank has ever gotten. And they're able to receive food like avocados and strawberries and tomatillos and corn and things that they don't necessarily always have access to.
Right.
So it's a very exciting program. Exciting for our farmers to be paid fairly, and exciting for our community to receive the best of the best. And talking with some of our farmers in the field, it's so nice for them to be able to know that it's feeding their neighbors, it's feeding their family and their friends. It's not getting shipped out of our county.
Right.
You know, we have food issues here, and this is a big help for everybody involved.
Yeah. I mean, that's great. I mean, anything we can do, really. And how's the food bank receiving? I mean, I'm sure they love it, but like, they're like, oh my gosh, like, I haven't cooked this before or something, right? I could see that happening, right? Or something.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's more culturally relevant foods too. You know, we have so many tomatillos around, for example, and we should be able to provide those to our community, and they've never had those before.
So they're like, how do I do this weird, like, waxy thing?
Yeah.
They're delicious. I mean, they're so good.
Or they love it, and it's part of their normal everyday food that they want to eat, but they haven't had access to it.
Yeah.
So it's really cool. I haven't been able to be on the handing out the food side with their partners yet, but definitely on this side. It's great all the way around.
Yeah.
So
but the farmers take all that food just straight to the food bank then for that program.
And then the food bank distributes it to their partners.
Oh, nice. So there's one hub, like, is that one hub somewhere in San Luis or somewhere? Or?
Yes, and ironically, it's People's Self-Help Housing by the airport.
The new place, yeah, okay.
Yes, and then behind that is San Luis Obispo Food Bank. And in the middle of that is TKT, which is the kitchen terminal, which is a place where if you are a new chef or a new food producer, but you can't necessarily afford a brick and mortar or don't want one, you can rent hourly kitchen space.
Yeah, right.
Which is so cool. So we work a lot with those three organizations that are right in a line.
Oh, it's like right there. Super convenient, huh? Now that
Yep.
People's Self-Help is over there, and that they're up and running there, right? I'm assuming.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Because they were off Prado for a while.
Yeah, they have a beautiful new location.
Yeah, it's nice. What has kind of been the biggest challenge, kind of, bringing this in? Is it like getting new vendors, or having, people be more consistent? Is there consistency issues, or anything like that, or just people not aware of the program yet, or anything like that?
About Harvestly?
Yeah.
I think you hit the nail on the head. I think there's still so many people that have no idea
Yeah.
what Harvestly is.
Right.
And so getting the word out there and making sure people know that it's not, I think people automatically think, okay, it's a box of vegetables. And it can be. You absolutely can order
Right.
a box of vegetables, but you could also order a pound of fully cooked tri-tip and a pumpkin pie and a soup and fruits and vegetables. It's completely customizable to whatever you want it to be.
Yeah, I mean, it's got all kinds of stuff. I mean, there's meat that you can buy, and prepared food, and there's so many farmers and businesses on there. I was like, oh my gosh, like, this is all there's so much stuff to go through. But it's nice that it's convenient, for one spot.
Right.
Right, you can get everything there, and it's all local.
Yep, exactly. So you're supporting your community while you're getting the best of the best food. And our customers, our order cutoff is Wednesday at midnight, and then you receive your delivery on Friday afternoon. So that gives our vendors almost 48 hours to harvest or prepare this food. It's not food that's been sitting. I mean, obviously the pantry items are a little bit different, but
right, the prepared stuff.
Yeah, it could not be more fresh unless you went and harvested it out of the field yourself.
So so they're like, oh wow, like I have all this stuff, and then they know exactly what they need to harvest for that week.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, that's awesome. So kind of what are you guys doing now? What's kind of on the horizon as far as like the future? Obviously getting the word out a little more, and do you have more vendors that you have in mind? You're trying to expand a little bit.
Yeah, we would love to add new vendors. We try not to duplicate vendors too much. I think of going to the grocery store and looking at like the toothpaste aisle, and you're overwhelmed because there's hundreds of toothpaste. I don't want to make our customers have to search through that, but we are always looking for new vendors. So if anyone wants to apply, they can go to harvestly.org and click apply to be a vendor, and I will receive their application. And as long as they're local and have really good products, we're pretty open to bringing new vendors on.
Nice. And that does it have to be, is there any kind of grow, like, does it have to be organic, or it doesn't matter, or how does that work?
That's a great question. Our customers are super food conscious, locally purchasing conscious. They love organic. We do try to focus that way. Not everyone is 100% organic, and not everyone is certified. To become certified organic is actually really expensive.
That's what I was going to say. I was like, some people, like, it's kind of a hard process.
Yes.
Sometimes.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you're a small farm and trying to make it, you don't necessarily have the funds to do that yet.
Right.
But they are farming organically. So we try to keep in the description of the farms how they farm, because even the word organic is such a loaded word. There's so many different interpretations of that. So we do try to keep it sustainably, organically, not using pesticides, things like that with our farms.
Yeah, that's awesome. Okay, so like, what do you have kind of planned for the future here, or like, what kind of? I know you are doing the school thing, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. But is there any more like outreach programs like that you're kind of trying to like get into that you haven't kind of got into yet?
Yes, I think this goes hand in hand with challenges as well.
Yeah.
Our mission is not only to support the food and farmers of our community, but it's also to make sure everyone in our community has access to food.
Yeah.
And as of right now, we're not able to accept EBT, and we get asked that a lot. And there's a lot of roadblocks to be able to accept EBT, unfortunately.
So what is that? Just so I'm unfamiliar. EBT?
EBT, it's if you can't afford your groceries, but it's
okay.
government subsidized funds for you to be able to purchase food.
Got it. Okay.
So I think that's a lot of our Cal Poly students, a lot of our student population in our community. There's a lot of people that just can't afford it.
Yeah.
And so this is money that helps them. So there's ways some farmers can accept that. So you can use your card to purchase food, and then the farmers reimbursed through those funds.
I see. Okay.
Yes. But we're not able to accept that yet, unfortunately.
But it is you're working on to get it in there.
Yes. Because I think that's a huge amount of our population that we're missing right now.
Definitely poor college students. I remember being there. I'm like, I can't afford anything to eat.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Especially like the really good food. You're like, I can't. Yeah.
Right. So it's a little bit of an uphill battle, but we're working on it.
Nice. So. All right. So if people want to, start doing a box, how does that work? You just go online and you sign up, and kind of walk me through the process for that.
Absolutely. So you go to harvestly.org. You can search through all of our products, add whatever you'd like. We have everything from fruits, vegetables, to pantry items and baked goods and ready to eat prepared foods and so much more. And you add whatever you want to your cart. We have some people that will order one soup and one piece of pie, or people that do all of their grocery shopping with us. So it's really unlimited to what you want it to be. And they place their order, and as long as we have your address and your phone number, so we can contact you when your delivery driver's on the way, and then once they've left the package at your door, you're all set, and we can drop it off at your house.
That's so awesome.
Yeah, we try to make it as smooth and as seamless as possible. We always love our customer feedback, and we always say if there's things that are missing or things that you would like to see as far as foods go, let us know. Or if you say, oh my gosh, this new restaurant came to town, they're so good, we need to add them, let me know. We're happy to go reach out to them and see if they want to be on our platform.
Oh, like a restaurant too. Cool. Yeah. All right. So why don't we talk about like the farm to school stuff? Because we've texted about that too. So how does that work?
So Farms to School is another program run through our nonprofit.
Yep.
I do not run that one. A gal named Claire Tuimote runs that one.
Okay.
And
I think I might know. I might have gone to school with her.
Oh, okay.
If she's from Mission, I don't know if she went to Mission or not, but
I know she's local. I don't remember where she went to high school.
Yeah, I think she went to Mission. Anyways, go ahead.
Small world.
Yeah.
Yeah, so she's great, and she runs Farm to School, and they use the Harvestly platform. So in removing barriers for farmers, we're trying to make the platform as easy as possible so they're not having to learn multiple different technologies. And so, I mean, they're more than capable of doing that, but we're just trying to make it as easy as
one
possible
extra
for
thing,
them.
right? Yeah.
Yes. And so the way it works is it makes it easier for the school districts because they have one spot to log on to and search and order from, and then the farmers deliver directly to them. So they can put up everything that they have, and then the schools are able to create menus around that. It's a very fluid conversation between the school districts and Claire with Farms to School and the farmers to make sure that the schools are getting what they need. But then again, it goes back to not having to truck all of our food out of our county. It gets to stay in our county and feed our kids.
Yeah, which is great. When I had Fallon on, she's like, yeah, the schools, I think you had a part of it. She's like, the schools love the ground beef, right? And I have all this extra roast that I don't really know what nobody really wants to buy. But she's like, the butchers don't need to put it in 1 pound bags for people. She's like, I'll put it in 10-pound bags and it goes to the schools.
Yeah, absolutely.
Which is awesome.
Yeah. And then if the kids want to see where those cows are, they can go drive up the highway and see where they're at.
With their parents, yeah. It's right off the freeway there.
Yep.
Yeah. And then I know they have Edo in the schools too.
Yes.
I was asking my kids about it, but they're like, I don't know.
I know. I have one kid that will eat school lunch all day, and I have one kid that doesn't want it. And I'm thinking, man, there's still such a stigma around it. I feel like we're getting away from that stigma. But, you know, the funds that our kids in our community are able to get free lunch is phenomenal, and free breakfast. It's just our school districts are doing such a good job.
So is that everywhere, or are they still trying to get in some schools as well? Or if you know, I don't know. I know San Luis Coastal absolutely does. I'm pretty sure Paso Robles Joint School District does as well. Besides that, I'm not 100% sure. But it is state funded money, I believe, so they should be. They should be. Oh, okay. All right. So do you have any events coming up that you guys are doing, or anything, you know, that people can be aware of, that, you know, outreach or public or anything that you guys sponsor coming up?
That's a great question. We just wrapped up our summer market series that you could come and shop from our vendors at a physical location.
Oh, nice.
Because I think sometimes there's a little bit of that lost, since some people think it's just an online platform. And I'm thinking, no, there's so much behind this. This could be your neighbor. This could be somebody their kid goes to school with, or a coworker.
Yeah.
So we just wrapped those up. Those were great. We held those at City Farm Slow, which if you haven't been out there, that's a great spot to check out.
That's up and running now, though? Yeah.
So City Farm Slow has been there for, I think, about 12 years.
Okay. So the building that I'm thinking of is the under construction thing, right?
Yeah, probably the Slow Ranch.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're next to each other, but City Farm Slow is right off the freeway, and they do a ton of educational programs out there. They're great. So we host it there, so then families can come and see and check it out and meet our vendors. And so that's fun. But we just wrapped those up. And as far as upcoming events, we don't have anything upcoming. We really ramp up. Holidays get really busy.
Yeah, I was going to say, I was like, holidays are coming up.
Yes. So we'll work on providing some Thanksgiving meals or options for our customers to search through. If you don't want to make a Thanksgiving dinner, you can just order it through Harvestly and we'll drop it off at your door, things like that. But we don't have any physical come to events scheduled right now.
Okay. And then, so do you have anything special that you guys put on Harvestly for the holidays? Like more like holiday, you know, geared food or anything like that? Like, you know, prepared food or, you know, stuff that you can cook at home?
Absolutely. So I think it's fun when our vendors have complete control over their store, so they can add products or take away products at any time. And I just sent out an email because it's pumpkin spice season and everybody's excited about pumpkins.
Totally.
And so we only had a couple things, and I sent out an advertisement. And right after I sent that out, I had multiple vendors say, oh, I have pumpkin spice this, or I can make this pumpkin thing. So I said, add it. Go ahead. Put it on there.
Yeah.
So it's really cool that they have the creative opportunity to add whatever they want. And then if it doesn't work or if it doesn't sell, they can just take it off. Or if it does really well, they can keep it on year round.
So there's a lot of pumpkin spice coming up.
Yes.
Nice.
Yep.
All right, cool. And then for like Christmas, is there like, or even for Thanksgiving, you know, is there like cranberries, you know, like all the typical Thanksgiving stuff or Christmas stuff that you guys bring in seasonally?
Yes, so we're definitely seasonally driven, and then it depends on what can grow here.
Right.
So I don't know about cranberries.
Yeah, probably not cranberries here.
Yeah, but other things, like I know we definitely do pumpkins and a bunch of pumpkin pie and, all the foods. Our bakers are so overwhelmed and so amazing when holidays come because the amount of pies they make and pastries they make is mind blowing, but they're great.
Nice. And then the same thing for Christmas, I'm assuming, right? Like whatever, you know, holiday stuff like peppermint and stuff like that.
Yeah, absolutely. And we still work with Cal Poly that does the Cal Poly chocolates, jams, and barbecue sauces and their creamery.
Oh yeah.
So they always come out with really cool different chocolate bar flavors, and their chocolate bars are only $5. So you can get like a peppermint crunch chocolate bar or a pumpkin spice chocolate bar I mean, they have so many different flavors. And if you've never tried Cal Poly jams, you're missing out.
Yeah, I think I have. Yeah, I think I have.
They are so good.
I know, dude. All that stuff is so good, and it's almost like, oh, this program's there, this program's there. This like, there's so much stuff going on over there, with dairy and chocolate and sausage and meat, and I'm like, man, these guys are so creative. Like,
They are, absolutely. They've got a great ag program over there.
yeah, yeah. All right, so what else do you want to add? What else do you want people to know? Like, I really want to push this out, as far as like getting people more aware. Because I mean, even when you texted me, I wasn't sure what that was either. I had to go look it up. So I want to make sure that you guys get more, attention for sure.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I think the other thing I could touch on is we have something for everyone's dietary needs. So we have a lot of different gluten-free, dairy-free, vegan, low salt or no salt. We have a lot of vendors that are sensitive to all of those different dietary restrictions. So if you're listening and you're gluten-free, don't count us out. Or if you're vegan, don't count us out.
Yeah.
We have a lot of options.
Yeah.
I think we have about over 1,200 products active right now and growing. So there's a lot to look through and shop through and find your favorite new vendors that are local vendors.
Yeah, I saw the Vreemery's on there, and she's awesome.
Yes.
Jennifer, she's great.
I agree.
She's so cool. I mean, but yeah, she has a lot of her products, and like a lot of my friends are in South County, and they're like, I don't want to go to Paso. So like
Absolutely.
Harvestly is like a great option to get it actually delivered to your door.
Yes, we deliver all the way from Paso Robles to Orchid right now, and I'll give Jennifer a great plug because she is great. I agree with you, and she was on with us, and we have a button that you can click that's ask the vendor a question. So if you have any questions about any of the foods on our site, you can either ask me or you can talk directly with who's ever harvesting or creating them. And we had a customer that really wanted a vegan egg salad, and she couldn't find it, and so Jennifer made it for her, and now it's one of her best sellers.
Really?
Yeah. So it's great that you can reach out to you can reach out and have those fluid conversations. And our vendors are our community. So they want to help you and support you and get you what you need. So it's been really neat.
So they can directly contact them and have a question like that and be able to get an answer back. Not only get an answer back, but also have somebody make a product geared to what they want.
Yeah, absolutely.
From somebody local.
Yes.
That's awesome. I didn't know that. Yeah. I mean, Jennifer's great. I mean, she's so creative and all that. I mean, her products are really good too. Boxes that are getting shipped out. Is there like any kind of like food safety that you kind of have to like, other than, I mean, you put it in freeze dry boxes and stuff, but is that really the only thing that you guys have to worry about? There's kind of a long chain of, food coming in and then going out.
Right. So yeah, we do it. We definitely have our food safety plan in, not in progress, active. Our food safety plan is active. And yeah, the food stays in the refrigerator or the freezer, and the pantry items are loaded first, and then the baked goods, like the things that don't need refrigeration, and then refrigerated, and then frozen is loaded last. And everything comes in an insulated bag with ice packs in there. So we do our best to keep it cool. And then on days like the last couple weeks where we had those excessive heat warming,
oh my gosh,
heat waves, yes, we message our customers and just say, hey, if you're not going to be home, please put out an ice chest with ice packs in it so our driver can just put that in there and close the lid, or make sure you're home between these hours. They do receive a text message when their driver's on the way and a second text message once they've left it at their doorstep. So we do our best to communicate with them and make sure that they know when their food's going to be there. But yeah, you want to be home and get it in your fridge as soon as possible. But we do our best on our end to make sure it stays great until it gets into their hands.
Nice. We were talking about pork and stuff like that, and like I think you were looking for chicken too, and stuff like that. Like, how hard is that to get somebody on to and be consistent with it?
Right. I think that's the hard part. Excuse me, is that a lot of them are so small that they don't have the capacity to add another sales outlet. If they're selling out at farmers market, they don't really need us to add more sales. Would we like them to come on? Yeah, absolutely. And I think there is a big movement in buying and eating local meat. And I would love to have more meat options. Fallon's been great about adding all of her beef on.
Yeah.
But we do have a need for chicken. You know, we did have one vendor that was selling chicken for a little while, and she'd sell whole chickens and she'd sell out, you know, every week. So if there's anybody out there that wants to sell locally raised chickens, let me know,
Yeah.
or anything like that. Or check out the website, harvestly.org, and if there's stuff on there that you see or don't see that's missing, let me know, and we'll go seek out those vendors and try to find somebody. Because like we're talking about, so many people still don't even know about Harvestly as
Yeah.
a sales outlet for them.
Right.
So maybe they need us. Maybe they need another way to sell it. Maybe they can't deliver it. And like you said, maybe there's someone in Paso and is only delivering to Paso, but we can add an entire county to their delivery radius, and they just have to add their items to Harvestly.
Right. Exactly. And it's kind of like, well, I don't know how it works for them business wise, but like sometimes it makes more sense to just have somebody sell it for you. Whereas, you know, jumping around all these different farmers markets, you can have someone like you come in, sell all your whatever you're selling, right? And not have to bounce around. And you're like, oh, I can go back to either raising chickens or beef or, you know, growing vegetables. And that side of it is kind of taken care of. I just got to drop off, you know, once a week or, you know, whatever it is.
Absolutely.
So,
Sometimes it does take some convincing, though.
oh,
We
yeah.
had
Hey,
a
you're telling me. I'm trying to bring people on.
yeah, we had a new farmer that came on, and they're a wonderful family, and they just had a baby, and it's just a lot, right, to
Oh, yeah.
add it. So I said, I'll add your products for you. You let me know. And yesterday was their first delivery day, and they were so overwhelmed, and they did a beautiful job. And I think another thing that I will say about our customers is they're wonderful in the way that they get it. So I'm going to use this farmer as an example. They are growing snap peas, and they sold snap peas, but their snap peas weren't big enough. They weren't satisfied with how big they were, so they weren't able to harvest them. And our customers, you know, some customers will get angry or upset, but our customers, Harvestly customers, are like, okay, I understand. You know, just give me the refund. That's okay, and we'll order them next week. You know,
Oh,
it's
I
just
see.
it's a
Okay.
it's a really cool understanding and learning more about where your food comes from. That when we went through those horrible winters and everything was flooded out,
Yeah.
and some of our farmers couldn't physically get to their crops and couldn't get to their fields, and instead of our customers being angry and upset, they said, I totally get it. I hope they're okay. Send them our best wishes. You know, hopefully that they can get back in their field. It's a feel good business. It supports everybody. I have the best job ever.
Nice. Yeah, well, that's a good story. So did you have any challenges as far as like the last 2 winters? Because I mean, 2 years ago it was pretty nasty, and we got snow here, which is super random.
Yes.
But we got so much rain. Mm-hmm. Did that affect your side of things, other than that snap pea story? But yeah.
It did. There were some farmers that physically couldn't get to their fields, or their crops had been washed out and they're gone, and there's nothing for them to harvest. And then our poor drivers, our delivery drivers, were so great, because there were some times where they probably shouldn't have driven where they drove.
No.
And they did. And they got everyone their food. And I mean, it was really cool. Not cool in the way what the
right.
weather was that we were dealing with, but that we were able to get our community food when they needed it the most. You know, they weren't able to leave their houses, so our delivery drivers just went out there and did their jobs and got it to them.
Oh wow! So okay. So those people could not leave their houses, and they are ordered from Harvestly, and we're like, we got you.
Yeah, absolutely. And we actually have a different demographic too, that are our customers, that we have a handful of shut-ins that physically can't leave their house. This is not weather induced, but
Yeah,
they
right.
just can't. Mm-hmm. And so some of those people are so great to go meet, because they are at home alone a lot of the time. So our drivers are great and can go chit chat with them and say hi. And it almost works as a well check, kind of. You know what I mean? Like they're able to go out and give them their food and say hi. And if they need help throwing it in their house or something, our drivers are wonderful.
Yeah, no, being in, I mean, I'm an ultrasound tech full time. So like typically when they come to me, it's like, that's their only interaction for the day.
Right.
Which is, I mean, kind of sad. I mean,
Yeah,
I kind of feel bad.
absolutely.
So I try to make them, you know, I'm in the room with them for an hour. So it's like, I try to have it be a positive experience, just like what you guys are doing, you know? And they, yeah, like you said, they don't leave their house. And
Right.
It's like, oh man, is there anybody to go say hi or,
Right.
but yeah, it's like these people delivering food. It's like, hi, how you doing?
Right.
You know, how is it going?
Yeah.
You're still good. You're good.
Yeah.
You know?
And a lot of our students or a lot of our drivers are students. So it's like a nice young person to come and say hi and kind of close that age gap too. It's just, I could go on and on all day about how great our staff and how great our customers are and our vendors, but it's really neat.
Nice. So and so is it a certain program at Cal Poly that gets hooked up with you guys?
Actually, for the drivers,
Yeah.
we're really grateful that through the College Core Fellows organization, a lot of them just want extra hours. And so we're able to hire them on to do our delivery driving for us. And it works great for them because it's a Friday afternoon from about 1 to 5, give or take a little bit. And they just have their route and they can go say hi to our customers. Or some of our customers don't want to say hi and they don't have to. We can just drop it at their door and it's a contactless delivery. But yeah, and then it's kind of I don't want to say it's an easy job, but it's pretty easy. You just get to go drive around, listen to a podcast, listen to some music, and feed our community. So we have a lot of students that will come on or ask if they can drive, and we're pretty set on drivers right now, but you never know.
Yeah.
So,
is there any areas that you're trying to get more into or get, I guess, more people aware maybe?
I would love for more of the new housing development people to know. I think there's a lot of people that are still moving to our area because it's the best place to live.
I know I'm like, like, what am I doing? I'm like,
yeah, but there's so many people moving here, and there are some different businesses like what we do in other areas like the Bay Area and LA. And so they are already familiar with this doorstep local delivery of food.
Yeah.
And so I would love for them to know that we have that here as well.
So is that specifically in SLO or just any new kind of housing development going
I think
in?
any new housing development,
Right.
anyone that's moving here from, I mean, I would like everyone in this community to
Yeah,
know
that'd be
about
great.
us.
Yeah.
But I think that's a great spot for us to kind of reach out to is those new housing developments and just let them know that we're here for them.
So, but you guys go from, did you say Paso to Orchid, right?
Yes.
And but that covers mostly everything. But is there any like city that's like, oh, I kind of want to pump this up a little bit, or anything that's like?
I think our vendors do such a great job. Since our vendors are so spread out and a lot of them do a lot of farmers markets,
Yeah.
they're really good about saying, hey, if you can't make it to market or, whatever you need, we'll deliver it to your door through Harvestly. So they're pretty good about sharing it.
Yeah. Nice. Okay. What else do you want to add here before we kind of wrap this?
I would just love for people to check it out. We're working on our customer information. So even if somebody wanted to look at harvestly.org and send me an email of what they like and what they don't like, I would love that. I would love for them to place an order, but if they don't want to, I want to make it as easy and as flawless for our customers to order. So I need more customer feedback to do that.
Yeah.
And then I can prepare that and give that to our Cal Poly students that are coming on in October, and we can work together to make our website even better and more user-friendly and make it even better for our vendors and our community.
But be nice. Be
But
nice.
yeah.
Be nice to Taryn.
Yeah, they're pretty good. They're
Okay,
pretty good.
good.
It's pretty rare I get a customer that's really angry, but I can't even come up with an example right now. They're great. So
Nice. And then, like with the farmers, are they like, how's there been like their reaction been kind of, as they kind of get into the program here? Are they like, oh, this is great. This is like way easier, way less work than I originally thought.
yeah,
And they're like, I'm kind of going everywhere in the county now.
right. I think the biggest thing I hear from them is that they're so happy that they get to do what they love, which is farming and being out in their fields, and they don't have to deal with anything else.
Yeah.
They can just get us their produce, and then we deal with the rest.
Which is nice.
And then they're paid fairly, and they get to choose their prices.
Yeah.
And they're paid within a week of drop off, which is also fairly rare for farmers. Sometimes they have to wait 2 to 4 weeks to get a payment, and that's a lot. So with Harvestly and with Farms Together, we're able to pay with them within a week. So it's
Nice.
the Farms Together funds is really life-changing funds for some of our farmers. It's
Really?
really cool to be a part of and to be able to say, okay, you get to choose what you want to get paid, and I'll pay you that within within 1 week of when you deliver it and harvest it.
Wow. So that's important. Like fair market price is important.
Absolutely. They're so used to having to negotiate with coolers that kind of hackle them down to whatever, and then they have to take it because they have to sell
They
their
have
food.
to move it. Yeah.
And we're completely opposite. We say, if you need to put it in a clamshell, because the food bank usually delivers to approximately a family of 4, so that's kind of how they package their food.
I see.
I say add the price of the clamshell into your cost. We want the government to see what you should be getting paid for your food.
Yeah.
And I even still to this day, I have to say, hey, so-and-so, this is too cheap. You need to raise your price on this. You're not making money on this. So to be able to do that for them is really neat. I mean, it's making it more fair and equitable for them, which is what we should be doing.
Oh,
Not saying,
absolutely.
let me give you less money. So you have to lay off your staff. Let me pay you what you deserve.
Yeah. Like you said, it's kind of like life changing. Like, are people able to stay in business doing certain, certain farming or growing stuff? Whereas, in the past, they probably wouldn't have been able to because it's not sustainable for them.
I think so. I think they're looking at it. We're only in about 6 weeks to this program, and
okay.
hopefully it will go for 2 years. We're guaranteed for about a year. Hopefully we'll do 2 years, and then we have meetings with some of the people in the USDA coming up that we would like to say, hey, look at how big of a program this is. What is our next program after this?
Yeah.
To keep it going.
Right.
They're trying to kind of plan accordingly and ask the food bank, what do you want? What would you like to see more of?
Yeah.
And so they can plant that. A lot of them are planning what they're going to be planting next, and seasons are changing. So just making sure we have enough food, which we will. We're so lucky to live where we live.
I know.
That
There's so much food here.
Avocados just came into season. We have a ton of strawberries almost year round. It's like the agriculture mecca where we are.
What I was asking was like the farmers, like in the past, maybe if they didn't have an outlet like yours, would they, eventually maybe go out of business because it's not sustainable?
Right. Because once you're negotiated down to such a low price, when I was talking with one of our farmers in Santa Maria, she said, when you do that, you have to lay off their picking staff.
Right.
And a lot of those people are their family or people that have worked for their family for years and years and years. And to have to lay them off because someone won't pay you what you should be getting paid for your food is horrible.
Yeah.
We can do better. So to be able to be part of a program helping do better and helping these farmers stay in business is great.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean that's great. I definitely don't want to be laying off family members. That's
right.
Well,
and some of them have worked with them for years and years and years. So even if they aren't blood related, they're family. So it's really great to be out there and meet them and kind of close that gap of it's not just an online ordering platform, or it's not just trying to sell you food. It's affecting people's lives and their family and their jobs. And it's just, I love that we get to work with our community from, the wealthiest of the wealthy to the poorest of the poor and try to feed everyone in the middle of that. So
yeah, with it, it's all great food. I mean, we have so much great food. If we could just get it to, everybody here.
Exactly.
All right. So why don't you just plug your website and where people can find you again, and start with that, and I'll definitely put it when I post it, but just so people listening.
Absolutely. So it is called Harvestly. Our website is harvestly.org. So it's harvestly.org. And feel free to hop on there and check it out, place an order, give me all the good and the bad feedback, and maybe meet some new local favorites that you'll find on there when you're shopping.
Yeah, they have so much. They have meat and vegetables and prepared food and olive oils and, tapenade and, all that stuff. And then if, there's anybody out there that's listening that, does chicken or, pork, or anybody that wants to be a part of the program, give Taryn an email or a call, or, so they can get into the program. And it seems to be a really good program.
Absolutely. Thank you.
All right. Well, let me wrap this up here.